Alright, here's my short review of Terminator Genisys. Like all Terminator films, I was excited before the day of the release. However, after Terminator 3, since the big plot has been corrupted and the movies have gotten worse, I wasn't as excited. I really like Terminator 4 because all the scenes are in the future and I think it goes really great with the storyline and they really improved since Terminator 3. However, I was really disappointed in Terminator Genisys because I was expecting a movie where they were completely in the future for like 9/10 of the movie and then they finally went back to the past at the end of the movie, and I thought at that point they wouldn't have shown them go into the past because you just go watch the first movie and that's what it would be. Instead, somehow all the timelines change, even though I thought it would be like an endless paradox that would keep going back and forth, but they changed everything. So in the movie, only 15 minutes, about 15 minutes I'd say, was actually in the future, and then they go to 1984, everything's changed, and then Robert Patrick isn't in it. That was kind of a big disappointment. Somehow the T-1000 came into the movie, and I don't know how that happened, and then they don't ever explain any of this crap in the movie. The one of the Terminators, he said, went back to like 1970 something when I watched it in theaters just a couple days ago to protect Sarah Connor as a kid, and that never happened in the original storyline, which means in the new movies, somewhere along the line, one of the Terminators went back long before they got to the base and destroyed it. The other part I hate with this movie is after Kyle Reese goes through the time machine, like this advanced Terminator grabs John Connor and transports him and then kills everybody. It doesn't even show any of this in the film, but it's suspected. And then somehow after that he goes back to the past after the main characters in 1984 go to 2017, which they say Judgment Day was supposed to happen in 1999, but since the timeline switched, it's now 2017, which makes absolutely no sense. And if you kept up with the TV series, it's completely different with those timelines. And I wasn't mad at the series actually. Second season started getting really good, and then they finally went into the future, and then the show got canceled by Fox. So that was a real bummer. So most of the movie was, a lot of it was a recreative of the 1984 film, the original, and it wasn't even that good of recreation. The first two movies were classic hits. I would actually say this movie's worse than the third Terminator. And now they're on a franchise of PG-13 crap. So I really don't know where the series is going. When I was a kid, I grew up watching actually just the second film, and then I later found out, finally got a hold of the first film, and when I saw that the third one was coming out, I was excited because I didn't think it ever happened, because they end the second one so solid, and maybe now after all this time it was a better idea to keep it like that and just keep those two movies, because the whole series is getting really confusing and has gone to shit. On Terminator Genisys, they never explain who sent this old Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's really weird, because he kills himself when he kills the other T-800, a younger version of him, in the first scenes when they go back to the 1984. So overall, the movie completely twisted, confusing, and John Connor becomes the bad guy, which is really dumb. I never thought they would be converting humans right into Terminators, and it's also very confusing because supposedly at the beginning they shut down Skynet, so it showed all the Terminators just completely flopping down, like done, they're done, and then somehow whatever one Skynet Terminator survives. The other thing, this movie ends in a solid way, making you think, oh, that's the end of the series. It can't be. But it ends that way. Upon watching the first three movies, I thought it would be kind of like Star Wars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know? And so on the fourth one, I thought they were going to go through all the scenes, all the future scenes, which they did. But at the end, I thought they were going to send Kyle Reese and the first Terminator back through time, and then develop the storylines and show the great James Cameron future scenes that they did in the first two films. But they didn't do that, and so with that, Terminator 5, I thought would have been all the future scenes, the story with Kyle Reese, and then they would send Arnold Schwarzenegger. They would show how they reprogrammed him, and then Skynet would have sent the T-1000 back. And so in the sixth film, I would have expected all the future scenes, and then the creation of the TX, and it going through back in time, but also seeing the end of the franchise at the sixth episode. But since they didn't even do that with the fifth one, I don't have any hopes for the sixth one. That's just my opinion. So I've said a lot of spoilers and opinions, so like them or don't like them, that's just my review. Bye.